Hello, hello, hello. It is another Monday again. Yes, it is. Let me bring up the volume on here and make sure no one interrupts me. And so, as you know, it's Magical Monday and it's Mastery of Self coming at you, your social worker therapist located in Brampton and specializing in trauma and mental health. And as I do every Monday, I come on here to inspire you, to uplift you, and just give you some knowledge and wisdom that you can carry along with yourselves and to share with others. And so today I want to bring your attention to the expression of emotions when we're going through trauma. Why is this important, Tanasha? Well, it's important because within trauma, we go through a roller coaster of emotions, and sometimes we have absolutely no support. And I will speak on the topic of sexual abuse. And so, sexual abuse is what I went through. I was a victim, and happy to say that I've overcome, healed from it. And I realized that in the different stages of my healing, I had to deal with the fact that when the secret was out, when the secret was out, it was the most traumatizing, defeated, outraging. Oh my gosh, there's no words to describe the fear that I had. And those of us who have been sexually abusing have come out to share, understand that there is a fear of letting the unknown known. And it's scary because as much as people who haven't experienced it say, oh, why didn't you tell somebody? Why didn't you share it earlier? Why did you wait? Because of fear. And so when I did share, the first thing that I said was going to happen was no one was going to believe me. And that is exactly what took place. No one believed me. And so I now have to sit down amongst family members who are talking about me. And I never had the comfort of a mother or a father to say, how are you? How are you feeling? My father was part of the reason the secret came out, but there wasn't that sit down conversation. My daughter, how are you feeling? My mother never once said, how are you feeling? And she was not only, she had the knowledge of not one episode, but at least two events that took place. And within all that, she never asked, how are you doing? And so I have many clients that come to see me who have been sexually abused. And the most common theme is nobody was there to listen to me and no one cares to know what I've been through. And so the secret comes out and it's either you have a conversation or you don't. And most of the times there's no conversation. So you live amongst your family members who know that you've been sexually abused, and they don't seek help for you. Some of them seek help, but they seek help, put you into the help, the counselor, the social worker. And they themselves who have experienced the trauma that they cannot believe that their daughter or their son has been sexually abused, they don't get help. It's like another secret is built. Okay, you said it, now we don't say nothing, we don't do anything. We don't even cry, we don't share the nightmares that took place. We don't even talk about, the depression that happens. We don't talk about the things that we think of ourselves, that we start to believe, the lies that we tell ourselves. And so when you have experienced sexual abuse and you have kept it to yourself and you had no support of a mother or father, or uncle or auntie, a sister or a brother, you are left alone to dwell in your pain. And this pain over time starts to eat at you. And when it eats at you, you tend to lose opportunities, you shut down, you isolate yourself. Meanwhile, life is still happening, right? And so I wanted to talk a lot about of parents whose children have experienced trauma and don't do any conversation, no communication whatsoever. And this is important because if we are in a community where everything's exposed, everything's talked about, there's no hidden, sex is not hidden anymore. It's everywhere. You can find it anywhere on the internet. We can find drugs, anything that we want. Weed is legal now. And so now that we are in the open of everything, why isn't conversation, communication a thing that we practice? And I find that in the Caribbean, I would say Jamaican community, that our communication skills for some of us lacks. And it lacks so deep that when something happens, even if it's a death, we don't talk about it. Sexual abuse takes a lot away from a being. It takes away our voice. It takes away our self-esteem. It takes away our courage. It takes away our image. It takes so much from us that we lose ourselves within the process. So to trust somebody is one thing that we cannot do. As a victim, you cannot trust anyone because someone came in, invaded your space, invaded your mind, invaded your body, invaded your thoughts, and now you don't trust anyone. And so the one person that you may be living with, your family members that you're supposed to trust that now know the information. One, they can disown you and to call you a liar. Or two, they will say, you know what? Let's deal with this. Let's call 911 or let's go find him to kill him or whatever negative impact to add on to what you've already gone through. And so no one doesn't ask the person who's gone through the trauma, what is it that they want, right? And they don't ask the person who's been through the trauma, what is it they need? And sometimes we just want someone to listen to us. We just want someone to comfort us in our pain. Comfort the person. Listen. Sometimes you don't even have to talk. Just listen. Give an ear to listen. You know, some of us have gone through sexual abuse and our parents make jokes about it. Some of our parents say, oh, you know, it's already happened. It's gone. Just let it go. It's not so easy. And so when we don't communicate with each other, there's a hidden pain, a hidden secret pain, because now you don't care about me. Now I don't have a voice even more than I did before the situation happened. And so losing the voice is very impactful. So when someone has been sexually abused, they no longer want to be seen or heard. They don't want anyone to give them any spotlight. They don't want anyone to make them feel that they're being a burden. And usually people who have been sexually abused tend to please people because they were always rejected. They were always told that they were liars. So they tend to please others. They feel that now I have to please them in order for them to accept who I am. And so as parents, communication, as I've stressed many times, is very important, but how to communicate is also important. The way, good evening, the way that we speak and express ourselves to our children matter. And so if we are going to take the matter in our hands and not even ask our children input as to how they feel, and maybe they're not even children anymore, they're adults, and they have come out to share that I have been sexually abused, I've been sexually violated, I've been molested, I've been embarrassed to carry the secret for so long, and I blamed myself for many years. And so if there's anybody on here that has been invaded in a way, like disrespected by someone who came into their space and let them feel that they're at wrong, I'm telling you today that you are not wrong. It is not your fault that you were violated. It wasn't your fault. And so it's important for us to communicate, regardless of trauma or not. It's important to understand the feeling of your child when they've gone through something horrific. And some of us feel that when our children go through stuff, we're to now send them away. Sending them away. Okay, they were sexually abused, or they got pregnant and had an abortion, or at a very young age, or they committed some kind of crime, but they didn't spend time in jail. They were given community service. Some of us feel that we now need to take them out of the environment that they're living and send them to a foreign country that they've never known in their life, as a way of it for them. They're looking at it as, you have now rejected them, not saved them. Because for one, you didn't have the communication with them that, I feel bad that I wasn't there for you when you were violated. And so because of that, I feel the fact that I want to send you away is to keep you safe. That doesn't make any sense. So when someone has been hurt, has gone through trauma, it is best to have an open conversation than to assume that what you have for them is best for them. Going through sexual abuse it breaks down in stages. People go through a roller coaster of emotions. And so just to listen to them is the first thing to do. Good evening is the first thing you should do. Listen, just listen. You don't need to respond, just listen. Give them some time to get over the fact that this secret has now been revealed. Okay? The fact that everybody in the family now knows the secret. Give that some time and just love on them and just make sure that you're there for them, because suicide is a lingering thing. It never fades until you're completely healed, right? So the thoughts that we put into our minds that we're undeserving, we don't need to be here anymore, we deserved what we got, it was our fault why this person came and invade and took away my virginity, or even just told me that I was beautiful for him or her. It is a lot. The nightmares, the images that come up in their minds, it is a lot to deal with. So I encourage parents, regardless of what the issue may be, it could be sexual abuse, it could be the death of a loved one, it could be an illness of a loved one. Sit down and have the conversation and listen to your children. Listen to them, because as much as we may think we have all that they may need, just listening is the most comforting thing you can give them. It is. Just listen. And from listening, you will now realize, okay, what the question is to them. What would you like me to do to help? Because you're in pain, so I'm now in pain. So how can I help you? Don't feel that you have all the right answers all the time. You have to trust that what is coming from your child is the best thing. And if they may not know the best thing, but allow them to express their pain slowly. Don't let them sit there and tell you from day one till the end of the time that the situation happened. Let them open up and share what they want little by little, because we are all built different. And we can't just assume that we have all the tools or may not have the tools. And now I'm going to speak on the fact that when some parents acknowledge that their child has been inflicted by any kind of pain, grief, sexual abuse, death, drugs, it doesn't matter. Some of us just avoid conversation altogether. Let's pretend like it didn't happen. Or let me just wash the dishes, clean the house, make sure her clothes are clean, and cook and feed her or him, and avoid conversation. If you are experiencing this right now as a parent, you don't know what to do. Your child has opened and shared with you some information and you don't know what direction. Ask for help. Ask for help. Don't be afraid to not know something. As a parent, we can't know everything. If we knew everything, we would be perfect. No one is perfect. So ask for help as a parent. When you realize that your child has gone through something horrific and you don't have the answer, seek the answer. Ask God to give you the answer. Go to someone who has wisdom and understanding and knowledge for an answer. Where do I go? What do I do? Because you see, fear keeps us from many things. It keeps us from our comfort. It keeps us from love. It keeps us from our joy. It keeps us from our daily lives of what we could be doing other than sitting in depression and wondering what you did wrong or didn't do wrong. When something horrific happens in our lives, the first thing we do is blame ourselves. So I encourage you all today, as parents, as an aunt, as an uncle, as a niece, as a nephew, when something happens, have that communication. Everyone is in pain. Pain affects everybody. Everyone goes through pain. How we deal with it, that is what we question. How we deal with it is a big deal. We have to be able to come forth on the things that we don't know. The uncomfortableness has to happen in order for us to learn from our mistakes. Life goes on. So when you haven't been there for your child for something, don't beat up on yourself. Talk through it. You know what, honey? I wasn't there for you. I am sorry. Say what you're sorry for. I wasn't there when you needed me, but I'm here now, right? I wasn't the mother that you wanted me to be or the father that you wanted me to be, but I'm here now. Let's talk about it. I know you hate me, but give me an opportunity to share my side of the story. When we're not communicating, we don't know anything. We just assume. Every living thing communicates. Every living thing has to communicate. When a baby's born, he or she cries to communicate, right? When that child starts to grow, we follow the body language to find out what is it they need. If you have a pet bird, dog, cat, you have to communicate. You have to teach that dog or cat to respond to you. So if we are losing our communication, then what are we becoming, people? Are we becoming people at all? What are we missing within our love and hate relationship amongst ourselves in our family? Communication is key to everything. It doesn't matter what the situation is. Communication is key. And when you communicate, it gets effective. You understand body language. You understand when someone shuts down. You pick up on nervous tips. Like some people, when they're nervous, they laugh. And some of us may take that as an insult, not understanding that person is so nervous. The first thing that they're going to do is laugh in a situation that is horrific. Communication is key in everything that we do. And so, as I wrap up, I hope today that you had took the time out and take care of yourself, did something great for yourself. Yourself is a first priority. Why? Because without you, you have nothing. You cannot serve anyone. You can't be for anyone. You can't do anything for anybody if you can't do it for yourself. So I encourage you to always pour into you first as you rise. And if that means to have a quiet time with your God or to sit down and meditate on how you're going to conduct your day, do it. And if the day ain't going well, just know you have all the power to turn that day around, because you can control you can't control others. And let me look at some comments here that I have. Hello. Good evening, woman of God. Good topic. Yes, true. Communication is everything. When things aren't going well, when you communicate. Yes, exactly. And so I encourage you all to be your best selves. Always strive to be your best self, because we all want good from the life that we are on this earth doing. We all want to feel good. So continue to feel good in your moment. Don't let nobody take away your shine. And I will see you next week, Monday at 7 p.m. with another inspirational conversation, knowledge, wisdom. Have a great evening.